Okay, it seems that we missed just one student. I don't know who he is. All right, let's start it. Okay, so today's a fun day. Presentations, just sharing some information about the simulations. Okay, I just looked over your numbers about the simulations. I don't have any problem with it. Okay, problem with it. Okay? So just keep going. Just keep going. But at this point, you need to think about one thing. Okay. So this is round 3, right? So you're playing round 3. After round 3, we have only 2 more rounds, 4 and 5. Okay. 2 more rounds. Okay. So 2 more rounds. For 2 more rounds, you need to think about what? Harvesting strategy, because you need to make money, right? Raise profits. Huh? If you invest at this time, if you invest a lot, and this time it doesn't make sense, right? Okay. So you need to develop your cash flow, your incoming cash flows. Okay, that will be the logical reason. Okay, so you are doing okay, you are doing fine. So I don't have any problem. Oh, I want to share this one. Okay, one of our undergraduate teams. Okay, they are playing this game also, not this version. Okay, this version is a little bit complicated compared with theirs. Okay, and their version is a little bit simpler. Okay, and almost more than 3,700 teams are competing against each other. Okay, nationally, not nationally, it's a world. Internationally. Okay, so 3,700, more than 3,700 teams are competing against each other. But one of the teams, okay, our very team, got top 99 percentile at this point. Okay, so top 99%. It's good. All right. If they conclude this game very well, okay, then they just keep this performance, okay, at the end of the game, and then probably they can use this achievement in their resume. They can write it down. Okay, Okay, so think about that. 3,700 teams. Okay, and one team, we have the traditional structure of these teams. So 4 people, 5 people each team. Then it's a huge number of students and corporations. All right, some employees in the corporations are using these simulations, so it's good. So keep going. I'm gonna pay attention on your performance too. So if your team, any of your team, okay, got a high performance, I'll let you know. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the simulations. Okay. So presentations. Before starting our presentations, I just want to remind you that, okay, you can evaluate your teams and other teams' presentations. Okay, please go ahead on Canvas. Go to Canvas and quiz. Under the quiz, okay, on my screen, I can find the down and surveys. And then I can find BUS685 presentation 2. Okay. So in this and presentation 2, you can evaluate. Okay, other teams' presentations. 1 is the lowest score, and 5 is the highest score. Okay. All right. Any question about it? All right. Do you have any question, comment before we start it? All right, great. So we don't have a question. Okay. All right. Anytime during the presentations, if you have any question, concern, just ask. Okay, just share it. Okay. All right. So let's go straight. All right, directly. Which team wanna go first? We have 4 teams. Okay. Which team wanna go first? All right, Everett, your team is What team, Everett? Okay, Chester, right? Chester. All right, Team Chester. Chester first. And Vicky second. All right. Okay, so let's go start with Chester. Who is gonna be the presenter? Chester, Evan? Okay. So Evan, you are the presenter, so you can overwrite the PowerPoint presentations right now. Okay. So Evan, you're the presenter.
Yes, I don't think I have the power to share my presentation yet. For Everett?
Dr. Kong, I believe you put it to Evan instead of Everett. I have it at the moment.
So Everett, you will be the presenter. I'm just confused because you are the chatting. So who is the presenter for Team Chester?
I am Everett.
Okay. All right, Everett, you are the presenter.
All right, I am uploading my presentation now.
Yes.
And you guys can all hear me now, correct?
Okay. All right, no problem.
All right.
Hey, Chester.
Here we go.
So we're Chester, and so I'll just introduce us. Our two products are cake and cedar. As far as research and development go, we did develop two low-tech products. We are still pursuing a focused, low-cost leadership strategy. As far as performance and size, we're keeping cake specifically in the U.S. market, and out of the other two, the Germany and the China. We're developing our second product, which is cedar for Germany and China.
Okay.
Marketing and promotions. We're putting more money into promotions and marketing at the beginning, hoping to reduce customer awareness, hoping customer awareness increases. We've lowered the cost of the cake in the U.S. to stay competitive. We're the low-cost leader in the U.S. with cake, and we're keeping our marketing promotions low for cedar at the moment. And we're not forecasting as much cedar in Germany and China because we're hoping, we know that it's not competitive yet.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as production goes, I think we talked about it last time that we're trying to go for the, kind of the low cost leadership approach. So we're going to continue. We put a lot of money at the beginning, and then we kind of put even more in the second round towards automation for the cake product. Increase that a little bit, and then also increase the automation for the cedar product as well. We produced a little bit more than we forecasted for both products. But our problem was last round we just didn't produce enough, so we forecasted really low. So that's going to be our big adjustment going to next rounds is increasing our forecasting because we sold all, pretty much all what we produced. We just didn't have enough production to really cover all of our costs. We covered our costs, but we didn't make as much profit as we could have made. So that's going to be our big thing going forward is kind of just produce more on the front end and hopefully try to sell more, especially with a low cost product with high automation. We should, even if we overproduce a little bit, we should be all right. So we're still trying to have a lead, kind of trying to lead the pack as far as automation. We're up there, competing at the top for that. And then, we're going to keep the plant utilization around 180%. We dropped down to about 120% last time for whatever reason. I don't really remember exactly why we did that, but that was not a very good idea. So like I said before, we're just going to try to keep our plant utilization around 180%.
Okay.
Yeah, so as my team was talking about before, the first round, our initial product, cake, did well, as we said before in the first round in the China market. But in the second round, we realized that we couldn't produce enough of our original product, cake, for all three markets that we wanted to go into. And so we forecasted it just for the U.S. And as Evan said, that we under forecasted. Unfortunately, we ran out. But we realized that it's a great product and that it's doing really well in the U.S. And even last year, or in the second simulation, we actually raised the price by $1 to help our profits out a little bit. You can see that we still have a pretty good cash reserve right here. We did not hit any emergency loans, which was a big priority for us. And we wanted to make sure that we ended each year with a high cash reserve while still investing in automation, since our low cost strategy, since we are pricing our two products fairly low, we wanted to make sure that our overhead is also low so that we can produce a lot more and so that we can still have a profit at a smaller margin. And so again, at the beginning, we took out more loans. We sold stock early on to be able to invest in increasing our plant. And that's also what we did for our second product. And so it's not shown here, but our second product didn't do super well because it's still in the development stage. It's still not hitting all the criterias needed for the Germany and China market. But we wanted to bring in that second product specifically for those two markets because we knew that our original product could not produce as much for all three markets. So we wanted to keep that one just for US and our second product for Germany and China. So we're increasing our forecast a little bit more for this next simulation, and hopefully it will do a good bit better. But you can see here that our stock is in last place, even though our book values are roughly the same. Again, with the low cost strategy, it's just going to take a little bit of time for our plant to be able to produce at a high functioning level for us to see those high profits as we produce more.
Okay. All right. Probably yes. Okay. That's it?
That's the end. Any questions?
All right. Probably you guys also recognize some of these issues. Actually, I wanna point out three points that can improve your performance. Okay. The first thing is contribution margin. All right, contribution margin. So margin is very important, but your margin rate is pretty small right now. Okay, so you can raise price or you can reduce cost. Then you have better margin, right? Better contribution margin. But at this point, in my perspective, you have both issues. Okay, so pricing strategy is a little problematic. So you need to think about your new pricing strategy, better pricing strategy. Okay, so pricing strategy, it doesn't mean you have lower price. Okay, low cost leadership strategy, product differentiation strategy, whatever. Okay, you need to find an appropriate level of your price. And the cost side, all right, cost side, you need to recheck your cost side. For example, your HR strategy, all right, human resources strategy. Okay, there is no efficiency right now, all right, so you need to check it out. Human resource management. Okay, if we assess, the extra human resource, it is cost. Okay, and inventory, it is a cost. You focus on the cost leadership strategy, okay, and excessive human resource, excessive inventory level. It doesn't make sense. Okay, you need to find this efficiency, HR and inventory. And the last thing, product design. Your product design. Actually, your product design is not fully attract your customers. So you need to look at, right, what are customers exactly wanting to have. Then you just approach, you push or pull your product at that point. Okay, then it will be fine. Okay, so you need to think about these 3 points. All right, 3 points. Okay, then your performance will be okay. Okay, make sense?
That does, yeah, and that's why we were saying our first product, I think, hit those marks, but the second product was still early on in development, but we're trying to get it to what the customers want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, you already recognize some issues. Okay, but the problem is, okay, at this point you need to think about one more thing. We only have 2 more rounds after this round. Okay? So we don't have enough time to turn your strategy drastically. So you need to balance your change of strategy and the remaining time, the harvesting strategy. Okay, that's what I can say at this point for your team. Yeah. Good luck. Any question, comment for Chester? Okay, no question, no comment. Okay, great. And I just want to remind you that you can evaluate the presentations on Canvas. You can find the survey, okay, BUS685 presentation 2. Okay. All right, good. Thank you, Chester. And then the next team is Digby, Team Digby. All right. So Digby, who is gonna be the presenter?
I will.
All right, Sierra. So now you are the presenter, Sierra. All right.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so these are Team Digby's major decisions for round 2. Just a little outline of what we'll be going over, just our major decisions, our outcomes and areas for improvement, and just kind of our final conclusions for our performance in the previous round. Is Dan on?
I'm sorry, Sierra. I'm
slow.
Because I tried to get. Sorry. So in our research development, we're pursuing a focused differentiation strategy. So we really try to push particularly the speed of turnaround as fast as we could. So that arrived us at 8.8 and 8.3, and we're using the USA region kit.
Okay.
So for the marketing, we've kind of placed the majority of our focus on the USA just because that's kind of where the highest demand was for our product and also where we are producing it. So it's just logistically the easiest. We are still investing in Germany and China, but obviously not as much. And in terms of pricing, our product is priced just about, if you convert them all back to US dollars, it's all just right about the same amount of 35 US dollars. That's what the euro and the yen kind of convert back to.
Okay. Makes sense.
And in terms of production, while we're kind of focusing, keeping our product or marketing it mostly in the USA, our plant location is also in the USA. And our production order is in the USA, we produce about 1,950 products. In Germany, it's about 575. And in China, it's about 475. And we're working to create a proper balance between this production order and where they would thrive in most countries and things such as that. And we're working to see the capacity change to about 350, and then the automation in our next round, we're going to move it to around 5.5.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, for financing decisions, we just took all of our other decisions between marketing, R&D, production, human resources, and determine what we needed to do to meet those needs. We wanted to avoid the emergency loans, and we wanted to end with positive cash position. So to do this, as you can see, we issued some stock around 1,400, and we took out a little more current debt and some bonds. However, we're going to start repaying that long-term debt in this next round, and also we're going to look at distributing some dividends. I can't remember if that's going to help our stock price or not, but we're gonna do that probably to help, and hope to stay away from the emergency loan.
Okay.
Yeah, and then another thing we decided to do was just expand and invest a little bit more in these areas of basically our employees and our human resources within our company internally. So we're investing a little bit more in our scientists and manufacturing and sales. Basically, this is because we're trying to expand our production more, so making sure that all these areas line up with each other.
Okay, now I understand. Yes.
So for our outcomes, one thing that we've kind of noticed is that we were average in all of the categories. So we had nothing in the green and nothing really in the, not as that much, very much in the red, but everything was kind of yellow, like at that moderate level.
Yeah, so like Sierra said, we did pretty good in most areas, just not anything spectacular for financial. It was decent compared to the average. We really want to look at our profits, try to improve those, see what we can do to cut costs. Like Dr. Gong said, we're gonna try to maybe increase our price or cut those investments to work on our profit. And our ROA was low, so we're gonna look at that also going into the next round.
Yeah.
And through an internal look at what we're doing with our internal business, we're trying to improve our contribution margin. We noticed that was relatively low, and we want to try and figure out how we can improve that better next rounds.
Okay.
To get our product to the customer too, we've noticed that our customers are really enjoying the way we have our product designed, but it's not very as accessible as we'd like it to be. So that is kind of a big hurdle that we need to get over in the next round to make that more accessible to all of our customers.
Finally, with the learning and growth, mirroring our financial performance, our profit per employee, and our market price per employee were both areas for improvement. So I think, as Ryan mentioned, we're going to review our pricing strategy. This is our new philosophy heading into the last couple of weeks of our MBA.
All right.
So,
Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Thanks, Dr. Kong.
All right. So my impression is very simple. Actually, your strategy is not having many problems. Okay, it doesn't have problems. Actually, I just some weakness in your strategy, just like HR and marketing, customer accessibility, something like that. But I understand at this point, this weakness is like your investment. Okay, your investment. So probably for the next couple of rounds, your investment will be harvested. Okay? But again, your team is 2. We only have, after this round, 2 more rounds. Okay? So we don't have a long time to harvest your strategy or change your strategy drastically. Okay? So harvesting strategy will be very important in your decisions. Okay? All right. Any question, comment for Team Digby?
Thanks, Dr. Kong. Thank you for those notes. We gave it a good try.
Thank you, sir.
All right, great, great. Any question for Team Digby? Nope. Then can I move to the Team Baldwin? Team Baldwin. So Evan, Team Baldwin. Evan, you will be the presenter, right?
Yes, I will be.
All right, now you're the presenter. So if you have any question, comment, just ask. All right, just stop it. All right. All right. So Team Andrew will be the last.
Okay, so we're Team Baldwin, and Will not be with us tonight, but we'll be sure to cover his section as well.
So we are just continuing to try and push our products up. We had a bit of not an issue, but one of our products that we were working with, we have 2. Our lower end one, our newest one, wasn't in a position where the simulation would let us make changes to it. So we're going to see what the situation is next go and push that a little higher up because it seems to be trailing a little bit behind. We wanted to start focusing more on the US, but I think we went too fast pushing into the US and backed off too much on some of the other areas. So we're going to try and level it out a little bit. We got a little overzealous,
Right.
but we're just going to reevaluate and try and make slightly less extreme decisions.
Right.
Yeah. So the goal is to try and still remain towards the higher end of the circles as they move so that we can stay ahead of the curve. Now that lower end product, I think Bolt is the one that we couldn't make many changes to. And so it's trailing a little bit behind. So that's the one we're really going to focus on making more changes to. So we're going to really put our research and development into that second one. And then staying centered on that customer buying criteria, staying towards the high middle, not dead smack in the middle, a little bit higher, but not going too extreme. That seems to be kind of our pitfall, is we just go too fast, too high.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, I'm good to go.
That's why people say business is a common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, some people emphasize the like creativity in the business. In most cases, okay, a few industries, like IT industry, all right, probably creativity can be a very, very important factor. But in most business, in most settled down businesses, actually many people say is not creativity. Actually, they are emphasizing the common sense, just rational, rational decisions. Okay? This is good example of common sense, your R&D strategy. So it is good, Chandler. You good. Okay? You know what the problem is, then you can move it. You can move it. Okay?
Yeah, so this is kind of an extension of that. The marketing is we raised the price a little bit, but we tried to keep it within the high middle. And then we did do that little, we went too extreme on the US and kind of forgot everything else. And so we're going to try and rein ourselves back in and level ourselves out a little bit. The promo and sales budget stayed similar for the US, but we backed off a lot on Germany. So we really need to kind of reconfigure that a little bit. And then we increased the one area we seem to be a little bit more cautious about is the forecasting. So we need to kind of take a closer look at that and see if we can get into a better window in terms of where then, production will come into play. So, and then with HR, we were kind of right in the middle of everything with HR. So we just need to reevaluate and not go so extreme in some areas.
Great. Sounds good. Okay. All right, please go ahead.
For production, we wanted to keep producing in the USA with having China second and then Germany in third place. We also want to continue to increase the automation in production. Lastly, our goal is to still meet the demands without having minimal inventory left over.
Hey, what's up?
Exactly.
Our finance plan has kind of remained the same in that we sort of go through the other decisions and make our most ideal setup and then sort of see where we stand financially and how we can make it possible. And if it's not possible, then we begin to cut back on certain decisions. I think this is going to keep us from having to pull any emergency loans throughout the rest of the time. The other thing that our team that I think we kind of become too reliant on is the predicted balance scorecard stuff. I think we need to focus on our strategy and not maybe what the simulation is telling us in some areas. So I think we looked a lot better on the prediction than we turned out. So I think we need to more or less understand the market we're working in.
Okay. All right.
And that concludes our presentation for this evening. If anyone has any questions.
All right, that's it. Okay, great. All right, so you, a team, okay, have some issues, but you already figured out how to solve this. Okay, it is a little bit strange. All the teams actually, you already knew what the problem was, and then how to solve it. So it's great. Okay, you understand. All right, you understand what you're doing right now. It's good to see it. Okay, and then any question about the team Baldwin? Oh, one thing, my comments are not team specific. All right, so when you present, okay, I think some things, then I can give you some comments. Huh? So not for everyone, not just any specific team. All right, so no question on Baldwin. All right, then Team Andrew. Team Andrew, who is gonna be the presenter? Team Andrew, please let me know.
I can present.
All right, Tyler, you are the presenter right now.
All right, so we are Team Andrews. Go ahead and pass it off to.
All right, so in terms of our research and development for this past period, we tried to employ a blue ocean strategy that incorporated differentiating our high-tech product and using a slightly more cost leadership style for our low-tech product. We tried to continue to raise both the speed and accuracy of both products on level with each other. And we increased a lot of the research and development specifically for Acre, since that's our new product. And we retained a high degree of input into our high-tech product as well. Our total costs ended up bringing Able, our high-tech product, it was more overall in terms of the research and development costs that we put into our high-tech product than our low-tech product, despite greater changes with our low-tech product. Our plans for the next period are sort of to continue moving in this direction. However, we do have the capabilities at the moment of extending out into a new product line. And so we're going to discuss and decide whether that's the best idea for us going forward as well. Currently, Able, our high-tech product, is performing well in 3 different countries, holding a decently high market share. And Acre, we just released this past period into the United States only. We're hoping that this next period, we're going to spread that out into the other markets as well.
So for the marketing, like Joseph said, we've done a good job. We have a very good market share in all 3 areas, USA, Germany, and China, and we're still holding strong in all 3 of those. We haven't really been overspending. We've gotten a pretty good return on our marketing investments, as can be seen by our market shares. And as of right now, our low-tech products are our top products.
So for production, we exceeded our capacity a little bit, but we're utilizing our plants well, and we really need to work to increase the capacity of our factories and just to make sure we can keep up with demand. We're just continuing to, within budget, develop our automation for both factories, for Able and Acre, for both our products. We just want to make sure we keep increasing those so we can keep up with demand and make sure our factories are as efficient as possible.
For the finance aspect of our simulation, we took out some more long-term debt, but we don't currently have a lot of current debt. So hoping to start paying off that long-term debt here in the next few rounds. Most of our assets are in our plant and equipment. So we are utilizing our plants pretty well, and that's where a lot of our assets are coming from, which is good to know, but still need to, like Tyler said, kind of work on making sure we have the balance of meeting the demand with that. And then still just continuing to work to increase our profits in the rounds to come. We're doing a good amount of sales, but profits are not necessarily where we need them to be. So making sure that we balance that well in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And these are our results. So as you can see, our sales are really, really good, but our profit, we just need to lower our cost a bit and do our best to make as much profit as we can, because our costs are a little high right now. Maybe need to adjust the prices and make sure we're not doing advancing too quickly with our upgrading our production facilities and such. But other than that, we're pretty happy with where we were. We avoided the emergency loan, which is always key, and we're making sure we're closing with a net positive cash position.
Okay, makes sense.
And then last thing, just looking forward, continuing to improve our products and coming out with some new ones, hopefully, or at least a new one to start marketing in at least the US, if not in the other 2 countries. and then just increasing profits in all three by adjusting our finances some.
Okay.
And that is it. That's the end of our presentation.
Yeah. Actually, I understand your strategy, and your strategy makes sense. Okay? So very aggressive, and it's good. It's good to see it. Okay? Good to see it. So, but at this point, you need to think about you have only 2 more rounds. 3, actually not 2 more rounds. Actually, round 3, 4, 5, 3 rounds. So you need to balance. You need to balance with the harvesting strategy. Okay. All right. Commonly among your teams, okay? So many teams, your teams are suffering from 2 issues. Commonly, the contribution margin and HR things. Yeah, contribution margin and HR things. Contribution margin, okay? You can reduce your cost, okay? Which is not easy. Okay? You can find your appropriate the price. Okay, so we are talking about this. We're talking about this. So you need to do. Okay, HR things, same thing. Okay, so HR is closed. All right, excessive HR is closed. Excessive inventory is closed. Okay, so you need to find appropriate level of HR and also inventory. Okay. So this is not just a random game. Actually, very logical, very rational game. Okay, number-based game. If you understand the mechanisms, it is too simple to calculate. Okay, so in the next rounds, okay, you will have a better sense. You will have better strategy. I believe it. You are doing great. Okay. All right. So we've done all the 4 teams. So you evaluate other teams and your team's presentations on Canvas. Anything else we need to talk about? Probably not. Do you have anything else we need to talk about before we go in? Because you can use this time to discuss your simulations. Huh? Any question, any comment before we go in? All right, if you don't have it, please say no. All right, great. All right, very concise, very informative presentations. I didn't have any problems to understand your strategy and your numbers. Okay, that's good. Okay, so you can use the extra time for your team discussions for the simulations. Okay, you are doing great. Keep going. All right, then I will see you. So actually, every time I'm here. So the next week is a synchronous class, but you have a simulation round 4. So I'm gonna be here. Okay, I'm gonna be here. If you have any question, comment, just visit it. Okay, but if you just wanna have your own time with your team, all right, for the CAPSIM simulation round 4, then you can go ahead. All right, it's totally up to you. All right, the highest autonomy. All right, so great. Okay, so if you don't have any issue, question, comment, I'm gonna see you on next week. See you in the next week. Okay, see you in the next week. All right, good job, guys. Good job, teams. Okay, I'm gonna see you in the next week. Good luck on your game.
Dr. King?
Yes, please.
I wanted to just double check to make sure. Next week, do we have another presentation on our decisions this week?
No, we don't have a presentation.
Did we just finish? Do we have another presentation for the rest of the semester? Or are we with the presentations?
Let me check. Okay. Yes, in April 26th, we have the last class and last presentations. So it is after CAPSIM Global Simulation Round 5. round 4 actually. So you have presentations, and also you will play round 5 on April 26th.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Thanks, Dr. Kong.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.